Hi everyone, this is Uriarte. I'm a specialist in veterinary neurology.
Hi, I'm Joao. I'm a specialist in veterinary cardiology.
This is to vet or not to vet.
What is your question?
So my question, dear friend, is what has been your road to become a resident? Because we talk about a little bit the specialty and to be a specialist, but how did you get that position into a resident in Liverpool?
Fine. Okay. So I qualified from Portugal, from the University of Oporto, and then moved to the UK and did at the end of my degree. We needed to do an externship, so we need to spend some time in a different practice, and you could do it in Portugal or you could go abroad. And so I chose the UK just because I thought my English was good enough. I'm not like you. My French is
No,
pretty poor.
but that's such a good opportunity that in the vet school you had that. It is pretty amazing, pretty amazing.
Oh, it was awesome. And it was helped by them. So I did 6 months in a practice in Portugal because I thought I was going to work in Portugal and I wanted to sediment. And then after I went, I was helped by the university because they had contact to go and work in Manchester, where I did an internship. And that's where I got in contact with specialists, and I thought, oh, they'll be amazing. So I then did a year in Portugal, working a year and a half, working just a normal vet, and then I wanted to come back, and then I started an internship in that practice. That internship had several specialists.
Tell us a little bit your internship. What you were doing? What was it a general internship, and what was your role in that internship?
Yeah, so it was a combination of, because it was an employment. So I was employed as the cardiology intern. So I was helping a diploma holder, a specialist in cardiology. But then when he wasn't there, I was helping internal medicine, diagnostic imaging, a little bit of surgery. Surgery was never my thing. So it was a rotating internship, but with an emphasis in cardiology, which suited me beautifully. I mean, I also really like ophthalmology.
But how did you find that position? Where did you look? How did you get that?
So that was because I visited that practice and I worked there for 6 months as a student, and they liked me, and then they offered me the position.
And that practice was the university who find it for you?
Yeah, so the connection between that. So when I was a student, the university had a connection with that practice. They were already receiving people, and actually the owner of the practice went and lecture in Portugal in our final year. And so you start a bit of a conversation. I would really like to. I've heard about your practice. Really like to. So I think, and this is something that I then continued. I think the road to becoming a residency was always showing myself, showing that I was nice, that I wanted to work, that I was keen, and that's how it worked for me. So that's how when I was there as a student, they liked me, and they said, look, if you ever want to come back, give us a shout. The reality is, Anne, this was many years ago. So I was like going 12, 13, 15, 16. So it was a long time ago. And that was, so these was in 20 years ago. My God, 2003. I know.
No, 19.
And so things now are more structured. Now you have a list of places that are offering the internships that would be accepted for your training. So the road to becoming a specialist, as we said, and you explained that on a previous video, you become an intern, you do that for a year, at least you do an internship, and then you hopefully get a position as a resident, which will be 3 to 4 years of training, and then you sit the exams, and then if you do all that, then you become a certified specialist. And so my road to an internship was a bit unusual, just because I was there as a student and they offered me, and then the position was accepted as enough training to be counted as an internship. How was your? Do you want me to stop? Should I stop now? Should I continue?
No. Yeah. I think that we just kind of need to probably because the road is what it is, exactly as you said. Like you need to be general internship, sometimes a specialty internship, and then they get the residency. I think that maybe we come back back up a little bit and saying we've already talked about the American, the European
colleges, yeah.
Colleges. It's true that also different specialties, they may have a little bit of a different requirements, but it's very general that you need a rotating internship. So
yeah,
I am sorry to insist this much, but the reality is that you're going to need to have the right to work in the country where you can sit the European or the American. So basically, you can get a European residency in any country of Europe and England, because England is not Europe anymore, but you can get a European residency there, and you can get an American residency in North America and also in the Royal College in England. In certain countries and in certain universities or centers, they may pay your visa to be a resident, but it's true that it's not that common that people are paying a rotating intern. They don't pay a visa. But it's true that in the States, you have a lot of residencies that they will pay your visa to get the residency there. I would say as a general thing also, the American college is a little better organized than the European because you have the matching program. So the matching program is this big system where everyone applies, everyone is kind of a number, which is in a way a good thing. You just put your diploma as a vet, your grade, the notes that you have, like
grades,
your grades, your marks. You put the experience you have, your publications, whatever, and then your information and your cover letter is going to be sent all over America that has a residency, an internship or whatever, and then they're going to be calling you potentially for interview. So the American process is relatively easy. Whether you're looking for an internship or residency or whatever position, you need to do the matching program, which is through the website of the VIN. The European is the difficult one, because the European, you need to do the same thing, internship, maybe a specialty internship, and then apply for residency. But every single country and every single hospital and every single university starts the residency at a different time of the year. And it's a completely random kind of process. So everyone has their own process. So that is the very, very tricky part. How do you find the places where you should go, where they offer a general internship or where they offer a specialty internship? And that's maybe we need to kind of divide a little bit and just talk about our experience today on how we become, and as you said, what was the personal thing that we were showing to be successful candidates. But I think that we may need to do other videos about specifically maybe giving tips, right? And how to find that residency or internship position. But I had, to me, the experience was similar to you. I was studying in Zaragoza. I was able to do an Erasmus in France, in the University of Alfort. They have a lot of diploma holders there. After I finished the vet school, I stayed with the neurology service for 6 months. And then I applied for a general internship in a private hospital in Paris that I knew that they had a diploma holder. That is super important, guys. When you are applying for a residency, you need to go to places where there are diploma holders of your specialty. And we will talk a little bit, another video probably, about how you get the letters and where to apply. And then I was very lucky to only do a rotating. And after my rotating, I got my residency. I think that probably because I was the only applicant. Because it was in French.
You scared the competition. They were like, oh, Anne is going to apply. There's no way I should apply.
No, but it was a residency in the vet school, and it was in French. So it was a little bit I mean, I did a lot of interviews in other places, in the States and in Glasgow and in the RBC and things like that. So, but I think that we have kind of point out in this video few things that is important. So for those that they have no idea how the process works, internship, specialty internship, and then apply for the residency. two colleges, American College via the matching program and via the VIN, the VIN, and the European, which I guess that is very important to tell everyone that each college has a website, right?
Yeah, of course.
European College of Veterinary Cardiology, Veterinary Neurology,
ECVm,
surgery, whatever. And there you have a lot of information, usually about where the residencies are. More
That's
tricky is what is the good internship and the good specialty internship. But I think that we should do some videos about that a little bit later, maybe.
Yeah.
So
and the jump and my progression from the residency, I use the same thing, Annie, like you're saying. So on the same tip there you were saying. So how did I manage to get my residency? Because I saw the cardiologist of the University of Liverpool lecturing, and I very nervously approached her. She's a phenomenal lady called Nuala Summerfield, who was instrumental in my career. And I was saying, like, look, I'm Joao. I work in Manchester. Can I come and visit? And you show up in the day and you try to impress them. You try to show that you are keen. Try not to annoy them. Try show that you are passionate about the job and that you will be a good prospect to be trained. And that's when the position became available. They already knew who I was, and then I was given the position because of that. So, but you are absolutely right. You need to know where the training centers are, and you need to know, I suppose you need to be able to go there and show yourself. But for people that want to become specialists, I think visiting the places that you would want to be, and you have probably a lot of people wanting to come and visit you, and you know how important it is. You can do a lot on an interview, but you spend a couple of days with someone, you know, if they're going to be hardworking, if they're going to be keen, and then well, hopefully you'll make the right decision because of that. But I think you improve your chances by visiting the places that could potentially offer you the training positions. Yeah.
And I think that also now, as you say, because we also kind of seeing from our perspective where we move to a different country to achieve that, there's no way we could stay in our same house and apply for an internship and a residency. I mean,
sure.
It's true that now there's more residents, more internships, and more residencies coming out. But I think, guys, that even though there is a lot of positions, and I really want to do another video, I think it's super important to do another video about how to choose the right internship and the right residency. Okay. And I always give the example that when you go to the roundabout, you don't need to go out on the first exit. It may not be the right one. So although there is more things available out there, there's more competition. And it's true that the road to become a specialist in a lot of us means change country or at least change cities and move a little bit around. And and that it is a little bit the reality. Is it the right thing? Is it the right thing? So many questions that come up. Is it the right thing that you need to stop your life until you are 35 to become a specialist, and you need to have your first kid at 39 years old because you've been going around like crazy? Should we start being controversial now? But it is the reality, and it's not our job right now to change this. It is the reality. So we hopefully we can help you to navigate through that and try to kind of make sense and help through that decisions.
And I wonder if the questions that we may or may not get will drive us in that way. But I completely agree. You and I made a decision, and I don't know why I made a decision that I really wanted to become a specialist, and I would put and I would leave Portugal, a country that I absolutely adore, and I would leave a loving family that I have in Portugal, and then to try to pursue this. And I think that, and we've mentioned this in our many conversations, that I never knew that I was going to become a specialist. There was never the goal. I just knew that I wanted to pursue something that then ended up becoming a speciality. But I wanted the adventure, so I was keen on moving, not that because I wanted to escape Portugal, but yes, absolutely. Luckily, things are getting better. And for instance, the example of Portugal that I have, there are now training centers in Portugal, and that's amazing. That's beautiful. And these are from people that were trained somewhere else in Europe, and are now going back. And you have more training centers, and we may even debate that a little bit. Universities and private practices are completely different in the way the training that is provided. But now we have, when I was a resident, residencies were only available on universities. So that was the only option. And even when I was a resident, the role of a veterinary specialist was always linked to an university, or almost always linked to a university. And now there's a group of amazing practices that you can work, and you can become a specialist and be very clinical on it. So so many questions. But the road to becoming a resident was certainly that. And my trick was show up, show that you are keen, show that you studied, show that you are nice, and realize that the person that's going to choose you, they're going to choose you to spend every day for the next 3 years and understand the weight that they will be feeling. And so, I don't know, study.
Yeah, no,
study
I think that is super, super important point, because at the end of the day, all the others are like kind of tips. But if you are showing that you're interested, that you're going to be a team worker, and that you are showing up, and you need to grow up. You're going to be doing a job. So you need to give a good impression. And one thing that to me is extremely important too, when I'm choosing for a resident, I want the resident to finish the residency, to be obviously resilient. I want to be able to work with them and obviously have fun and all that. But I also need them to pass the exam.
Because you feel that burden on yourself, don't you? It's a massive responsibility. Absolutely, absolutely. You want to choose someone that you think, will they be able to show up throughout the training and on the day? Will you know for sure? No. But you have a gut feeling that you think, this person wants it badly enough. And I think both you and I would mean we want it badly enough. And you may question if it was indeed the right thing or not. We are happy as specialists and we're happy. Other people that chose not to be specialists are also very happy. And I'm sure you get that a lot when we go back to Portugal. Like, oh, you did so well. Like, well, I did well in one thing. I didn't do well in other things. So I don't know. There's always a choice. There's always a choice.
Yeah, no, but I think that the exam, and we will go back to why I'm saying about that is important. At the end of the residency, you're able to sit, study, and pass an exam. And this is why we also ask other things when you are doing your internship, like to start publishing, to start things that they show that on the top of showing up every day at work, you are able to go back and study, because that's what you're going to need to do. So there's a lot of things like that, that hopefully we can go. But I agree with you, Joao, that doesn't matter if you need to, apart from all the tips, you need to show that you're interested. But there are certain objective ways, like to show that you are interested. And I guess that we could also go some tips about, a lot of times people ask, so what do you prefer? Someone that has a lot of experience?
Yes.
Or not a lot of
we can do one on that. Absolutely. That is so interesting. Yeah. That is so interesting. Yeah.
So I think that's a good one. Well, thank you so much, guys. Again, if you have like a special questions about this, we will develop a lot this subject. How become a resident? What are the little steps that we can do to? Just write a comment underneath here, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome.
This is to bet or not to bet.
What is your question?